Hello and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today in the review box, we have the Dodge Viper ACR Extreme, a brand new release from Tarmac Works in their Global 64 line. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at this one and see if it is worth adding to your collection. So let's go ahead and get things started with our casting. So first things first, a quick turn around and look at our kind of proportions and everything. We will see that it does look pretty good. No wonky proportions or anything like that. We'll put the real life car up in the top right hand corner there for you. And taking a closer look here at the casting itself. So a couple big things to note: that everything here is mostly die cast metal. Our little mirrors here, these are plastic. The splitter up front, this is plastic. It's a piece of the base, which if we come down here, we will see that this base is actually entirely plastic, which is not super common for Global 64. And then the other big chunk of plastic here is this wing. Overall, it's got a little bit lighter feel to it than most Tarmacs do. When we're looking at our straight up casted in details, all of these little bits here are casted in. All these kind of indentations up front here, all casted in. And then our grille section up front is all casted in as well. Our dive planes here are not little plastic extras. They are casted into this main body. Back here, the diffuser is a piece of the base, so no worries there. And then we have these little vents here are also casted in. And that is really all we have as far as the actual casting side of things goes. So moving into our paint and deco. This is a real-life paint job that you can get for this car. We'll go ahead and put that real-life version up in the top right-hand corner. And we will see that it is a special edition of the Viper ACR Extreme called the GTS-R, which they actually did go ahead and put a little detailing in right up there for it. Looks good. I think this might have been like a final edition or something like that. Anyway, though, it does look very nice. This is apparently a Lamley collaboration, just like the Mercedes we just reviewed. However, this one does not have a big ugly logo to look at anywhere on it, not even on the base, which is very nice to see. That being said, though, as far as the deco itself goes, it is nice. This kind of cream white looks really good. And then the stripes, the stripes could definitely look better. The real life car, as you saw in the picture, the stripes are more metallic-y, and this is like a very matte paint on the stripes, so not as accurate as it could be, that's for sure. Moving into our details, we'll get a closer look here. And right out of the gate, we can see we do have headlights. They are plastic inserts, and they do look pretty good. The dive planes that we talked about are there. We do not get the little metal connector thing that the splitter gets, but I mean, at this scale, that's really not a big deal that we don't get those. We do get little reflectors over here on both sides there. Moving down the side here, these kinds of like vents here are actually got some paint on them, so it gives it some contrast where it should be, which looks good. Our mirrors do not get any kind of mirror paint or stickers there to have any reflective surfaces, which is a little bit of a bummer. But moving into the back of the car here, we will see that we do get these reflectors here. This side is a little bit more kind of back there, so it's a little bit harder to see, but it is there. We do get taillight inserts. We do get a Viper logo, which we do get up front as well. I forgot to mention that, because the Viper has its own special logo. We do get these little reflectors on the back, a little American flag, but the license plate is surrounded by carbon fiber detailing, which looks really, really nice. This is kind of the standout shot of this casting and release entirely, in my opinion, is this just carbon fiber look back there. It looks amazing. Making our way back up onto the hood here, we do get meshing in here on all these like vents up front on the hood. We get some meshing up here in this grille section, which looks good, which is something we sometimes do not get from Tarmac Works. They'll just kind of leave things like that flat, so it's nice to see that there. We also get a gas cap painted on, which looks nice. And that just about wraps up our details. Our wheels are, of course, pretty accurate. and look good. We have an exhaust pipe coming out here on the side. Overall, just pretty nice details. Moving into our roll test, this is a Global 64 release from Tarmac, so it does roll, and it rolls pretty nicely. Putting it on the scale, it came out to be 28.55 grams, so it is quite a bit on the light side, and that is more due to the plastic base than anything. For some quick pros and cons. So, the pros for this release. The biggest one is it looks really fantastic, especially from the rear here, and just the amount of detailing that we got. There are some spots where it could be better, but on the whole, it's pretty good. The other big pro I would give this is the first ACR Viper released from this gen of Viper. I think the previous generation, a few brands actually did that, ACR, but this latest, newest version of the Viper, the ACR, had not been done on 1/64th yet, and this is the first one, and it came out pretty quality. For some cons, though, there are really 1.5, I'll say. Maybe I'll go ahead and just say 2. The first one being this plastic base. Yeah, it's just, I don't love plastic bases, especially on more premium models. It creates a really light and kind of cheap feel. Thankfully, we do get the detailing to kind of make up for it, but I would prefer Global 64s to have a metal base like they usually have. I think that was something that should have probably stayed. Not the end of the world, but a little bit annoying. The other big con that I would say is that this is the first Tarmac Works release that I feel like is really overpriced. For what you get compared to like what a Mini GT would offer, again, that plastic base just really gives it a lot cheap of a feel. That with the fact that we can't even get any kind of metallic on the striping, like the real life car had, paying $15 for that, when a Mini GT of the quality that would have those features, that would be about $12, maybe $13. It's not horrendously overpriced, but I think Tarmac really should kind of go back to the drawing board on those things. For some quick size comparisons, here we have it with a few other Vipers you might have in your collection, with the Viper GTS from Matchbox and the 2006 Dodge Viper from Hot Wheels. And here we have it with some other front-engine supercars, with the standard version of the Viper from Hot Wheels, and the recently reviewed Tarmac Works Mercedes SLS AMG Black Series. Alrighty, so with all that out of the way, it is now time to give my final thoughts. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this one a 9.4 out of 10. Because I do think it does have a few shortcomings. The matte paint where it should be metallic, kind of the biggest one. The plastic base also being a little bit annoying. I do feel it is ever so slightly overpriced, but only by about $2 or $3. Really not a huge deal, but it is something to consider when going to purchase this one. I think if you're a huge Viper fan, this is definitely something that you should get in your collection. If you're a big Viper fan like me, it's something that you've been excited for as well, and likely already do have it. Even if you're not a giant Viper fan, though, I still would recommend it. It's really good for your 1/64th collection just overall. Alrighty, guys, that is all I have for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment telling me what your thoughts are on this particular model, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.